Hi. It's Filthy Casual back again. I was actually going to play guitar and practice guitar, which I have recently picked up. I know nothing, but I did want to show it off on YouTube because it looks so cool. It looks so cool. So I was going to practice guitar, and I got this sign that said, or signal / notification, if you would. Basically from the Athletic saying that the Warriors aren't actively shopping Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody before the deadline, essentially meaning that, yes, they're likely to make a deadline move. They're probably going to, release like JaMychal Green or something and try to get a different player, but maybe off the buyout market, maybe we will trade him. Maybe someone wants to take a shot at him. I could not tell you why they would, but maybe. But we're not going to be putting Moody. Like I had this idea trade that if the Bulls were going to blow it up, if there were signals that was going to happen at the deadline, I was thinking that the Warriors might have a package for it on some level. You just ship off, sorry, not for DeRozan. That was my Knicks trade. It was for Pascal Siakam. And I was thinking, okay, you give up Wiseman and Moody and a couple of picks, you might be able to get Pascal if the Raptors were going to blow it up. But then it kind of that was a couple months ago, and then it kind of looked like they were fighting for their season. Van Vliet is playing much better, and yeah. Although I will say I've been watching a bit of Raptors lately, and Scotty Barnes, not really doing it for me right now. Got to be honest. Yeah, he makes some plays, but it's very, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy. And it doesn't feel like a lack, like a newer player in the league getting used to the league. It just feels more like the guy's lacks a basketball sense. And not to say that he doesn't have great potential, but I think that will definitely hold him back, and I'm going to keep an eye out on that in the future. Maybe I just caught him on a bad 3 or 4 game stretch where he was dealing with something off court or on court or wherever. So take that at face value. But the Warriors not making any big deadline moves doesn't really shock me, because I think the Warriors feel very okay with where they are right now. And I don't mean that as far as where they are in the standings, but rather how they feel their team is progressing. And as I've watched the games, I kind of feel the same way. Once Steph Curry got back, he was very rusty, a lot of turnovers. But we saw in the last playoffs that Steph Curry can play an entire final series and not turn the ball over. So we know that those numbers are going to go down, even though, yes, Steph has struggled with turnovers in his career. Which seems to have translated to Jordan Poole, because there was I swear you could make a 7-minute. There was their Athletic Academy, excellent YouTube channel. Check him out. Great Warriors content. Put out a video of just 5 minutes of Jordan Poole just turning the ball over, and then he followed up with analysis. But it was a long compilation of just turnovers from the last 2 weeks of play from the season. And it was kind of ridiculous that it was that long. But also, a lot of Jordan Poole's turnovers are that he's running too quickly. He's going too fast. He can't seem to keep his head up and keep his body vertical. Because when he keeps his body vertical and doesn't go into, flash mode, he keeps his dribble, he can make great passes because he's got great passing sense, and he doesn't turn the ball over as much. When he tries to get fancy with it, and it's part of what makes him a great player, his ability to be flashy, his ability to accomplish shit on the court that other players maybe aren't willing to attempt because it's a little bit crazy, but he does it, and we go, wow. So it goes with it, but those moments need to be balanced out. And that's part of what made Steph Curry so great last year. Yes, he had the amazing plays, but he was also a very stabilizing presence on the court. It was everybody was just calmer and more decisive when he was on the court for the Warriors. And that's the next step, because when you are a point guard, which let's be real, that's what he is for our second unit, even though he's, I think, more of a shooting guard. I think that's more what, even though he's got great passing sense, I think he wants to be a scorer first and then a passer second. And not that you can't do that and not still be a point guard. Steph's like that, but Steph will go through like massive stretches of just being like, I'm going to set my team up this game and I'm going to get every person involved. And for Jordan, he needs to sometimes take that approach, because when your shot isn't falling, you have to find other ways to affect the game instead of just going, oh, I got to get in rhythm because that's what my team needs from me. No, your team needs from you to make winning plays consistently. And as a point guard, yes, that can mean, being the scoring option when everybody's, when you're playing with Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Lamb, and Ty Jerome. But all those guys recently have shown that they can play. So if you set them up, they'll make plays. And I think he's started to realize that over the last couple of games, but not in like a grander sense, more like he's had a couple of games of playing well. But I think that's his next step of development. I think as far as the trade deadline goes, I'm not really cautiously optimistic about anything happening at the deadline. I think nothing's really going to happen. Also, let's be real. A lot of shitty trades have gone on lately. A lot of people have gotten fleeced. Although the one weird one that's like a little bit funny that it's not like a total fleece. I still think it's a total fleece. The Sabonis for Halliburton trade, the Kings-Pacers trade. I still think the Pacers won the trade because Tyrese Halliburton is amazing. And I think he is going to consistently be like a top 5 guard in the league in the future. I think he's gotten to all-star form, and I think he does have another level to him. I think he still has more room to improve. I think as he gets bigger, like physically stronger, as he enters his prime, he's going to be an absolute beast. So save that. Tyrese Halliburton stock. But the Pacers like got the better player, but like the Kings are making the playoffs. Like unless someone goes down, the Kevin Huerter trade like completely justified the Halliburton trade, because by getting Huerter, it opens the floor up for the other two players. And I wasn't a fan of that trade for the Hawks when that happened either. I was like, didn't this guy just score 37 for you and like get you to the conference finals? Didn't this guy just do that for you? Why are you just trading this dude away? Yeah, well, my Hawks take has kind of stood so far. I said that it would take them at least a year to figure it out, that it would be difficult for them to figure it out, and it has been so far. There's been some bright spots, but for the most part, the Hawks have been struggling. I think the main thing about the Hawks right now is that they just need to figure out how they're going to run their offense, and Trae Young needs to be a more active player. And I think a lot of people are having buyer's remorse on their Trae Young stock, because there's been a lot of Trae Young slander lately as far as him being a top guard on a team. And people are thinking, well, he's small, he doesn't defend, he doesn't shoot as well as, sometimes. But the thing is, in previous years, he has shot that well. Like, he has shot like 38, 39% from 3. I think he had 41 last year, and that was when he was like an all-NBA caliber player. And he's not performing like that this year. So you're either betting that he's going to return to that form that he's shown us that he's had before. Whether or not that was a fluke season or not, he's shown us that he can do it. It's just a matter of getting him back to that point. And I think part of his difficulty is because now he's playing with different personnel. He doesn't have another shooter to kick it out to, because DeJounte Murray, he could shoot, but he's like not, Kevin Huerter was a much better shooter. So those are my thoughts. I kind of was just rambling about basketball for 10 minutes. That's kind of what I wanted this video to be. So thank you so much for watching through all of it, and have a great day.